So, I'm recording this the day before this video comes out. It is currently 10:51, but I just wanted to create a small video. If you want, you can totally skip this video. Nothing too important in here, but the day I'm releasing this video, it's been 3 years since the making of this channel. So, just want to sit down for a minute and have a quick chat, and then, you can either you can rewatch this video, my other videos, doesn't matter. But we'll sit down, have one more chat. Uh, not like it's the end, but just a chat. At least from when I'm recording this, a day before it's been 3 years since I made the channel. So when I made the channel, I was just gonna do it for fun, but I always wanted to do YouTube, but I didn't know where to start, so I just decided when I got my phone, uh, I would make a channel, and I went ahead and did that. Uh, I already knew what gacha was at that time, and despite gacha not being my first choice of video style, it was one where I had full control of what I did. And it was the only thing I had that was easy to use, accessible, but God, those videos, uh, it hurts so much to go back. But it was also a stepping stone for what would come to be all these series, all these amazing people I've worked with, and I'm thankful for it. Um, Gotcha never was supposed to be like my full thing, and I don't plan for it to be always, but I do still plan to do it. I've learned to just love a certain side of this community. I know Gotcha doesn't have the best reputation, usually being, for kids and all that, which I can totally see. I totally get that, but I've found a certain side of the community which is, actually not too bad. I found people like Rosie, Lav, Citrus, and don't get me wrong, those guys or gals are pretty cool. And then beforehand, before I started this channel and everything, I had already created Team Diamond. Uh, so, at, on a basis, I already knew what I wanted to do for a channel. A channel with my friends, maybe maybe for a bit of money, I don't know. Depends how popular or if I would get popular at all. Um, but I went ahead, made the channel, made a few videos, and eventually I just went ahead, said, okay, well, got nothing to lose, and went with Gotcha. I don't remember how my video did, but I remember I was like, okay, well, this was pretty easy to produce. Let's make more. And then came along Shadows of Heart. You know, now that I'm rebooting it, me and Time plan to go back and watch the original episodes. But at the time, when Chaos and all of them were still in the group, um, it was a fun time, but it was also a bit hard to do Shadows of Heart the way we wanted to do it because there was a lot of things interfering, di mutual differences of what we wanted to happen in the story. Um, but eventually, me and Time started to like write out scripts. We started to, think about the bigger picture more clearly. What's going to happen afterwards, where the overarching story is going, and everything else. So we did that. I kept creating it with still some interference, like making characters and whatnot. But then I eventually, did some other edits, made some other videos. But eventually, I started meeting some new people. People like Rosie, I found making backgrounds and stuff, which at that time were really helpful. And still, any backgrounds I find by any amazing people, I still use. Because backgrounds, not really my thing. I, I can make them, but I am not the best at making backgrounds like they are. So, you know, found Rosie and I saw she has a server. I'm gonna join. So I joined, and I got to actually talk to Rosie personally, and and then this is where at the point in my life where things for my channel started to look up. You know, my views weren't all that great. I mean, they still aren't. Still like 20 something views for some videos, but nowadays compared to my old videos, they're definitely doing better with the amount of people and things I've done. Anyways, so yeah, I met Rosie. She was really cool, and through her and through some other YouTube uh, scouring, I found people like Lavender, who was a huge inspiration, Caddy Real, who I really am inspired by, and then I was already familiar with the basics, CG5, Markiplier, MatPat. All those guys are still huge inspirations, um, and so I already had my inspiration, but being able to talk to them was the biggest thing for me because I told myself this could be a huge opportunity, not just to, you know, work with other people, but, get more friends. I mean, it was a really enjoyable time, and it still is. And so I kept meeting new friends, I kept working on Team Diamond, doing all that, and, I loved it, and I still do. Um, Eventually, I've discussed this in another video, but me and the others had um, some differences. So Chaos left, but we still are on good talking terms. Chaos, love you, pal. Um, he left. We still talk, and things were still steady. And video quality definitely got better compared to the monstrosities that I used to do. And then Time had its whole channel thing with the glitches of color and all that. And then Creepercraft came along as well in between all of this. Unfortunately, we still don't know what's going to happen with that. I'm probably going to finish up one last video with that on my other channel. But, Creepercraft was a huge passion at that time, but, eventually just we eventually gave out. So, um, that unfortunately, we had so much ambition, but we just couldn't, we just had too much of it. So, that is still in question today. But, I started to, get new members into Team Diamond. Some left, some stayed, but it was still all good. Videos were getting a bit more views. Um, you know, I was still meeting new people. And then came along the newer episodes of Shadows of Heart, variants, all of that, and then we started getting into music creating, background creating, all of that, and so that slowly got us more views, more subscribers. Then we hit 100 subscribers. Um, I think last year or 2021. It was 2021, but man, seems like just yesterday I hit 100 subscribers. And I was super happy because that gave me a huge motivation boost. But everything has their bumps, and some videos were too ambitious, or there were a lot of problems with them, or maybe I worked too fast. Didn't take my time like I do now. But I was still happy doing it, and then fast forward a few months, channel has been steadily growing. Shorts uh, became more popular and um, got a couple like 1,000 views and stuff. And then you know I had one big video, which was the Scott video, which I kind of wish it wasn't my most successful. Like, I get why, but just makes me feel, I just don't want my biggest video to be a tribute to someone. But make no mistake, I'm still glad that video has the views it has. But anyways, so I still continued, making videos and all that, and then I came up with the idea for voice acting and stuff. I'd always wanted to do voice acting because, the text to speech or the text in Gacha Life, it was good, but for certain scenes you have to do quick stuff, and you can't have quick stuff while the characters are talking, because, then you won't be able to read what the characters are saying because the scene goes by too fast. And so I went to find some voice actors, and I found some pretty good ones. Westy, Samara, and a good couple others. Roasted, etc. They were perfect for some of the roles, and they still are. Um, they this is the point where things started to get really good for the channel, and probably was the happiest I was. Team Diamond was doing so much better. You know, we had Shark come in a bit because before Team Diamond started, she hadn't been around too much, and then she came back, and along with a couple others. So it was a joy to have her around, and still is. And then me and Time were still working on stuff. Um, and then I created a few videos. Shadows of Heart, variants, all that, until eventually, fast forward another good solid few months, and I come up with the idea, because I felt so burnt out from doing variants and Shadows of Heart, why don't I make a new series that isn't connected to anything else, that a viewer can watch with zero, they don't have to watch any of my other videos to understand the plot. It's just a fun, enjoyable series, maybe a murder mystery. I didn't have the idea for a murder mystery until I rewatched some old YouTube videos from people like Rai Guy Rocky, Tina the Tiger, all those people. And I reached out to Rosie saying like, hey, would you want to join a production on like a brand new series? And she said yes. I asked around for other gotcha tubers, other YouTubers, and they said yes. So I made a server, and right now that's currently where everything's held. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy where it's at. 3 years, and I went ahead and started making the first trailer. Writing out the scripts, writing out episode 1 and 2 scripts, along with the general basis of the series, being a murder mystery plot, but a fun, enjoyable series for summer. Obviously it's already going to be the end of summer, unfortunately, but I'm still going to do the series. I still love it. I have ambition for it. And so, as the trailer came out and all that, I started to reach out to some other people. And then this is when I discovered Epic the Musical. And Epic the Musical, basically, if you don't know, is a musical adaptation of the Odyssey. And so I thought the songs were really cool. I thought the people were really cool who did all of it. George was really cool too, so I saw that they had a server too, and I said, alright, let's join. And that was the best decision I ever made. Because I'd been seeing, these animatics and all that, and I was like, these people are talented. And little did I know, those same people happened to be in the same exact server. So, a few weeks go by, I keep, I'm updated in the server, I got a pretty good welcoming, And then I realized, wait, is that Mercy? Is that the person who's been making all the cool animatics, like with Wolfie and Gigi? And I reached out and said, hey, love your work, and was wondering if you'd want to join a production. And luckily, she said yeah. Oh, and during all of this, I had one of my best friends, who I'd even like to call someone of my second family, online family, I guess. Farrell, who'd been doing all my art and still does to this day, like the art you're currently seeing. Um, that was all her. She is so good at art. And, at this point, I'd start having help for other art things too. I didn't want to have Farrell get overworked and stuff, so I said, okay, well, let's find some other artists. Let's give some other artists the recognition. And, I found some, and then through the Epic community, through other communities, and I'm like, okay, this is coming along great. And, now this was like 5-ish months ago when I started production on episode 1, and things were going great. I started working on songs. I started on early drafts for the end credits and opening at credits. And so, you know, I was like, okay, we got something here. I have a bunch of YouTubers, bunch of GotchaTubers, bunch of animatic creators, and all sorts. So let's use this to the fullest. And I still am. Uh, Currently, as of right now, we are working on episode 2. I'm working on some other stuff just to not overwork myself for Spring Heart. I don't want to burn myself out, so I'm working on stuff in between. But, you know, as the production kept going for 5 months, mind you, it took for Spring Heart episode 1 to get out. Hopefully, episode 2 won't take as long since we already had the script and voice lines, and I got stuff ready early as episode 1 was going on, just so we could have episode 2 get out a bit faster. And so, as of right now, that's still the plan. That's still going on. So, at this very moment, episode 2's already getting ready. We already have voice lines. I'm waiting on something from Mercy and a couple other things. But I have to say, the last 3 years have been the best. In terms of YouTube, in terms of personal life. I mean, school was a bit but everything else made it so much better. And I am happy to say that the last 3 years have been great. And I hope and I know that the next few years will be great as well. With Team Diamond, with the voice actors that I have currently, the music creators, friends, family, everyone I've met, and everyone who has, helped me along the way, helped me get to where I am. I cannot wait for what the future holds for us. And this has gone way too long, so thank you guys for watching this little rant about the last 3 years. And well, I'll see you guys later. I got some work to do. See you guys. Thank you so much for listening.